okay, are they going to eat this or how are they not going to eat this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to move. Now, because I'm coming from this post to this post, now I'm going around these. Oh, great, and this is the California state flower right here. And so now we're coming around, so I'm going to put my post on this side. Why? Because here are the wires pulling this way, and we've got our hook at the bottom. Now it's coming this way. If we turned it this way, and we put pressure on it, see how it's pulling out of the grass? So now we're going to put it like this. And because we're going to be coming around, we're going to slant it. Because what's happening is we're going to have some pressure on here, and now we're putting pressure on the top. So we're actually, what we're doing by sloping it, is we're putting a seat on this foot. So that when you go to look at your fence, you don't have to worry about if it's been pulled out or not. So we're going to come right around here. And Dan watered this just for us.
All of our fence posts go in this easy.
Always.
Okay, now, since my goat is over there, and I just already made one round corner, and I'm thinking, oh, do I really want to make another one? I have a couple of options here. This is the cheater's way of doing things. This also helps Livewire with their post sales.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, now you can come around and see we fold it around here, but we're going to go straight over to mark. And so we're going to run our wires through here, and we're going to end up with a nice corner. Okay, so we can do a corner like this. We could also do a teepee. We tie all of these together. And now we've got our wire coming from here onto this post. So we've got our pressure going back there so this post doesn't pull out that way. We've got our pressure going to mark so our post won't pull out that way. Then I'm really into string. Everybody has to have a knife. I can't, and it's a sharp one. Jeez, Raj. I had to borrow Roger's because I flew here. Then I always come around from the bottom. I come up and I choke it tight. I come around from the top. Do a nice square knot. When you're fencing, you're going to learn how to do square knots, bowlines, and airplane tie downs. Okay, so you have a 3. You can tie this together if you feel good about it. You can go around here, or you can have a teepee. Or we have some men here. I have a really nice galvanized post over there, Britt. And let's see. Justin, there's a post pounder. So you guys can build me a corner. Now, there's a reason to use a teepee. Go, sink it.
That's good. That's good.
Because Dan has to pull it out.
Oh,
Take your post pounder off. Okay. The reason you can put in a T-post is, for example, I have a pasture that's been in service for 5 years. Because number one, I don't have enough money to put in fencing. And I always like to do portable fencing for a couple of years before I actually build permanent fence, because that lets me know where I really don't want my fence. How am I managing my animals? What have I changed or what do I need to change? So you can just plant a T-post if you know you're coming back, and then you can put a piece of this pipe over it. And then we're just going to go around here with wire. We're going to use our trusty string, and we're just going to tie it to our post. So we don't have to worry about it shorting out. If you put insulators on here, they break, they shift, animals bump them, and the next thing you know, when you test your electric with your voltmeter, it's like, if it falls to a 3 or lower, you know you have a really bad short somewhere. The other thing I do is, I couldn't find any sewer pipe here, but I'll use a piece of the black sewer pipe that's got the ridges, and then the wire just fits in the ridges, and you can come through and just put your wires where you want.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, and your neighbors kind of look and go, sewer pipe on a fence post. My neighbor thinks I'm the craziest thing that is walking, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got 3 different kinds of corners we can build, and there's probably 20 other kinds. You just look at the situation, where your pressure's coming from, where it's going to, and then you just kind of fit everything into being. You can also, if you're in some rocky ground, when you put these in, Roger's got a drill. We use, I use a Makita. I've had my Makita for like 20 some years. I just went to buy a battery for it this year, and it was cheaper to buy a new Makita. So I have a new one, but my drill, and they now make long cinder block or concrete drill bits. So I just have a Makita with a cinder block bit. Oh, Tony brought his.
This one's a nice one. It's actually a hammer drill, so you can really get into some.
How comes I bought a new Makita when I could have had one of these? I didn't call
carry it around for a few days. And you're
Oh
like,
yeah, but
I
the
don't know.
Makita's
It's
really
a little
light.
bit heavy. That's the only problem with
So
it.
this'll drill some really nice holes for you. It's the same size as the bottom of one of these posts. And so you get in. Somebody told me when I moved here that you just couldn't fence that type of ground up there, and I said, really? I'd been fencing lava rock for about 12 years. I thought, California's a piece of cake. Then I moved to Tennessee. It's the icing. We have ground like this all the time. But yeah, so you've got this option for drilling these in, and it's got a reverse on it. So you can just stand here and go, burp, hit the reverse, it comes back to you, and you can just keep on going. The only thing is when you put these in a pack on your horse, be very careful that this little handle right down here doesn't hit on the side and it keeps going, brr, brr. And then your horse is like, okay, okay. Okay, anybody have any questions about corners or anything? Okay, I'm going to pick 3 of you. We got different types of posts here. Because we have poly wire, poly tape. If you're going to do poly tape, you want to use the narrow stuff, especially if you're in a windy area, because it catches a lot of wind and it will eventually sag and bag out. But it's also a good one if you're just training animals. They look at it and it keeps moving. The other thing is if you have big bucks that decide they're going to go see the young ladies, you can just take these. These come taller. I have some that are 8 feet tall, and I'll just put a few of those scattered from here to maybe where the lady in the purple shirt is and a little farther. And then I'll put a piece of tape, poly tape in here, and what happens is it blows in the wind. Now the goats can read a straight line, and they'll go, okay, I need to sit down 3 feet and I can jump 4. But they can't read a poly tape that's moving. So your chances of having them jump over a little higher fence slims down. After a few years, you pick that up.